I'm so scared of that guy.
Why? He just looks like a regular guy.
That's because he's a mile away.
Oh no, it's a giant.
Yeah, let's face it. Humans aren't meant to be more than 7-8 feet tall max. Anything beyond that is a freak that belongs in a Godzilla movie. Giants scare the crud out of me, and I wish there was no such thing. And here on the How to Be Cool podcast, we debate whether stuff is cool or not. And I'm going to say right now, giants are not cool. They're scary and freaky. But my co-host, Nick Nanny, may have a different opinion than me.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. If you don't think giants are cool, you are dumb. That's right. Giants are the coolest thing that doesn't exist anymore. And, because of cancel culture, they got rid of them. They are big guys, and I love them, and they are my friends, even though they're not around anymore. I don't even understand why there's a debate here, to be honest with you. If these guys were real still, they would crush your bones like a pretzel. And you know what? You'd be lucky to have that happen to you, Tony.
Let me ask you something, Nick. Why does Bigfoot sneak around in the woods instead of moving to the big city and getting married to a human woman, like in my series of supernatural romance novels? It's because he smells terrible, just like all giants. Giants stink because they don't make big enough deodorants for them. And let me tell you something, stinking is not cool.
Actually, stinking is thinking, okay? And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little overweight. And everywhere I go, everyone is talking Ozempic, 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 Ozempic this, Ozempic that, Ozempic. And it's like, hey, how about no? Whatever happened to just trying to be huge? Maybe this is why giants are a myth. Because everybody is trying to be Project Runway these days. Ooh, look at me. I'm all Project Runway. Well, what about Project Runaway? There's a giant.
Giant! You were just...
I
got scared. It was just one of his riffs. But for me, giants are one of my greatest fears. I'm absolutely petrified of them. And Nick keeps going, they aren't around anymore. We don't know that. Do you know what I mean? This was a big earth. There could be giants just waiting to stomp on us at any moment.
I wish.
I don't know. Well, anyways, our guest today is Alex Forrest. Alex, what do you think? Are giants cool, scary, something in between? What do you think about giants? Are they real? Do you think they're real? What's your...
I know for a fact that they are real. I don't know if you guys remember the 2016 presidential election.
Vaguely, yeah.
One of the darkest / most fun times in the history of our country.
Right.
I was canvassing for a little-known senator from Vermont named Mr. Bernie Sanders. And let's just say I had to go to a lot of giant... I had to climb up beanstalks and canvass on castles that were owned by giants.
Whoa.
So giants are, in fact, still alive. They are around, but they are in the sky. So it's kind of hard to... reach them. And I can say for a fact that they don't fuck with socialism. They don't like democracy. And I think there's a man who I won't say on this podcast, but his name rhymes with Donald Trump. And the Giants are quite big supporters of him. So I cannot get behind that mentality.
They're scary. I think part of them is that they don't understand. They have no sympathy with the normal problems that humans have. We're going, we don't have enough food. They're going, why don't you just reach down, pick up an elephant and pop it in your mouth? Well, we can't. Why don't you have empathy for normal-sized people? And they don't. And that's another reason why giants are scary, the lack of empathy.
Well, what?
You're going, the giants are cool.
It's funny you say elephant because an elephant is the symbol of Democrats.
That's right.
There you go.
The elephant in
Something
the
to think about.
Why even try to argue with them? Just let them, let them be. Why can't we just let them be? It's
let it be. You know who said that? John Lennon.
That's
Look
right.
what happened to him. He was shot by the opposite of a giant, which is a normal man.
He was shot by a normal small man. Yeah. A giant wouldn't have shot John Lennon. A giant would have crushed him. Would have stomped him out. And that is a way that I hope to die one day. I hope that I'm crushed, and honestly, it's kind of a fetish of mine that, I want to be crushed by a giant. I want a giant to see me in his garden and be like, oh, who's that? Oh, who's that man? And then, and maybe I'm sorry to demonetize Tony, but maybe I'm, masturbating, and I'm edging as the foot is coming down. You know, and yeah. See, I know that you don't understand this because you're a cuck.
Nick,
And-
no.
Well, that kind of.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say that kind of adds to my point, which is that giants are very anti-sexuality and anti-sex, which, as a fan of that sort of thing, I don't agree with their behavior.
Yeah,
you're
Nick,
expressing yourself sexually, and a giant crushes you. That's discrimination.
Yeah, and Nick, if you want to edge and goon, why don't you do it to something normal like Bigfoot making love to a human woman, not something weird like getting crushed by a giant? What are you, a pervert? I mean, this is ridiculous. You want to get crushed by a giant, and that's how you get off instead of being eaten alive by Bigfoot? That's something like a normal guy gets off to?
Isn't Bigfoot a giant?
Yes, but he's not crushing you. And in my
He wants to live in the woods with his friends.
In my story, he marries a woman, and then I describe what happens when they make love. Not this weird stuff getting crushed.
How much? But he would crush a woman. He's Bigfoot.
No, because she's on top. Just read my novel. He's not crushing her. She gets on top of his big furry. Anyways,
woman on top.
Yeah, and this is it's feminist. It's
I like
a feminist
that.
book
I think
about
that
a
is
Bigfoot.
good.
Yes. And you know what I mean?
Whatever happened to books for guys? That's
Well, we'll get into that later in a certain segment, or we could get into it right now. I mean, we could mix things up a little bit, or do you want to?
You want to go? Well, we should wait. We should discuss more with Alex.
Yeah. But so
books for guys, sort of the Dangerous Book of Boys.
The Dangerous Book of Boys. Yeah,
that's a book for boys. Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Bart Simpson's Guide to Life.
That's a book for everyone,
Yeah.
not men specifically. I guess I'm kind of just trying to think. Literature for men.
Well, let's talk giants. Do you think giants aren't cool due to their politics, the dangers? Now,
the dangers they pose to our democracy.
How come they make all these movies? Godzilla, King Kong, and every one of them
King Kong.
Yeah, they don't call him President Kong. They don't call him I took the votes. I listened to the voice of the people.
I'm going to have a peaceful transition of power in 4 years, Kong. No.
And King Kong. And you know what? He lives on an island with a bunch of dinosaurs.
That's right.
All right?
Sort of like Congress. Because Chuck Schumer is basically a dinosaur.
He's a dinosaur. He's old. And that's what goes on where King Kong lives. But I get a little annoyed with Hollywood. I think Hollywood is I think you've been brainwashed by Hollywood, because in these movies about Godzilla, King Kong, you're never really supposed to be that. You're supposed to be scared of them. You're supposed to be sympathetic. You're supposed to go, oh, King Kong, he loved the woman and they shot him on the thing. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
No, but in real life, these giants like King Kong and Godzilla are terrible. Not only are they destroying cities, but I don't think morally they're good beings. And so, do you think there's any chance that your pro-giant stance is just because of these movies goes, oh, well, Godzilla, he's morally ambiguous. He's the result of man's, hubris has created Godzilla.
No, because King Kong, he's what you call an urban planner, and all these monsters, they see that these cities are rife with just all sorts of problems. They come in and they're getting rid of buildings that maybe there are people in there, but are they good people? Not for me to say. Not for you to say. Not for you to say. The Lord knows, and the Lord takes them. And speaking of the Lord, Godzilla,
Here we go.
It's kind of
I was waiting for this.
Why is he called Godzilla? Because he's God, and and I would be if you're not telling me that if Godzilla's foot came through this WeWork right now, wouldn't that be so thrilling? It'd be we crush. It'd be incredible because Godzilla is thinking about the future of the city when his tail comes wagging and it destroys just like an entire city block.
Actually, I have a question about Godzilla. Maybe, Alex, you could help me answer this. Is that real?
Godzilla, yeah.
Oh.
I think that's based off of historical
like
evidence.
how long ago?
I think like 2011.
2011. Okay.
2011,
See, I was.
yeah.
I'm like I said. I'm Gen Alpha. I was only 2 in 2011.
Right. Yeah.
Which actually no, I wasn't born yet. I was
So-
born in 2019, so I was negative
Okay.
8 in 2000. So I don't remember that, but so it was real. It did happen.
To make it make sense for you, Godzilla is sort of the opposite of Bluey.
Oh,
Yeah.
so Godzilla is not sexy.
Yeah,
Got it.
But
got it. Yeah.
the movies are a little different. The real Godzilla is actually a man, and he's like a construction worker in Minnesota.
Oh.
And one day he.
This is the subtext of.
Is the meaning of
Yeah,
it, or
yeah.
this is what it's
Godzilla?
based on?
This is what it's based on.
Oh,
It was
right,
just
okay.
like it was a guy that like he just he was really angry one day, and somebody was like, "Oh, that'd be a cool movie," and then they turned that into it became like a whole different Hollywood. They're always changing everything.
so he was a
but-
giant.
No, he was kind of small, but like
guy.
he
Yeah.
was but.
We need to stop exploiting the working class and turning
well,
their
Right.
anger into.
Did he get paid?
into
I doubt
film.
it. Probably got paid for that movie. The billionaires. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
For
did.
that-
They gave all
Godzilla.
the money that movie made to the billionaires.
billionaires.
Yeah.
But here's something that kind of bothered me, and this is sort of off. It's kind of on topic, but they made King Kong. King Kong.
Yeah.
He's 50 feet tall. That's
It's
what
huge.
you heard. That's big, 50
Yeah.
feet tall. Then that was probably about 1930. King Kong came out. Then around 1950 they make Godzilla. Godzilla, they said, is 400 feet tall.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make it. Then at some point they're like, we're going to make King Kong versus Godzilla.
Right.
All of a sudden, they're the same size. Something doesn't add up here.
Nothing makes
Something
sense
doesn't, because
anymore,
I
dude.
saw that movie.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Then, any theories about what happened there?
I think people just weren't ready to accept that characters could be that big on screen.
Yes,
That's
when
why
King
we're
Kong
seeing
came out.
Ant-Man
No,
2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. Because that's what people are comfortable with. Something that's smaller.
But I think
Yes.
but I
Ant-Man,
think
you
what they
can't even-
did when they
you know,
shot
magnifying
when they made
glass.
King Kong versus Godzilla, they shot it like Lord of the Rings style.
At the same
or
time.
forced perspective, so it looked like King Kong was.
So King Kong was standing right in front of the camera, and Godzilla is way back.
Yeah.
when they
So
were
it
having
looks
their-
like they're big. They're both the
size.
same size. Yeah.
And what they won't tell you is that there's a sexual cut of that movie where it's about maybe 35 minutes of a hardcore penetrative sex scene between not even the Godzilla, just two people
Just-
in
yeah.
Oh,
that they
really?
found on the street. And they
They're
had them have
adults.
sex.
It's
Yeah.
nothing like
Yeah.
just two adults in the street. But they said, this isn't. This is kind of like off.
Yeah.
It took away from the storytelling.
Now, Tony,
Yep.
you write this novel about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But you also are scared of giants. Like, I don't understand. Like, are you sort of
Confronting your fear through
Yeah.
art.
Yes, I did that. I was told by my therapist, every night I was waking up for 5 years screaming in fear of Bigfoot. And then I started thinking, as a therapeutic exercise, what would help me get over this fear? Writing what we call smut about Bigfoot. And then as I wrote it, now I'm happy to say I'm not scared of Bigfoot. Bigfoot is probably how tall? He's probably 10 feet tall. And so now, for me, a giant needs to be big, like really pretty big, like for me to really be scared. So if a
Yeah.
guy walked in like right now, Shaq, I wouldn't
You
be
wouldn't
that
be scared.
I wouldn't be scared. It
Well.
used to be the other way around.
Terrified.
I would have been freaked out if I saw someone really.
Would you be
6'4"?
Would you have like sexual feelings about like if Shaq walked in right now, would that
Well, for me,
excite
it's
you?
not so much about the height of Bigfoot. It's
Okay.
more that he is an animal and
see.
a human and an animal
see.
together.
Yeah.
That's
I
what I
see.
like about it. But let's not sort of talk about this anymore because I think it doesn't make me look great. It makes me look like a weird guy, and that's one of the things I don't like about giants. They're weird. They're so weird. Why are they so big? How did they get that big? It doesn't make sense. What do you think happened that caused giants to get so big?
I think the Lord said, I need some big guys. And he made some big guys. Now I don't know, you guys probably don't know this, but I think that God speaks like Bill Clinton. So yeah, I think that he was up there in his castle on the moon, which is where I think God lives, and he said, I need some big guys down there, some that are a little bigger than the others, and I did not have sex with Jesus. He's my son.
Well, I don't believe in God. I believe in this flying spaghetti monster.
Oh.
Have you heard this? I've been doing it every couple of weeks, but it's a joke I got from Reddit. It's sort of a website with a lot of humor on it.
Yeah,
but
I love that's
Which I turned you on to, but now I'm Tradcath.
yeah, so you don't go on there. It's gone woke. But Alex, do you think that giants may have come out of evolution, or do you agree with Nick's kind of creationist theory of why there are giants? Or do you evolution, creation, something in between, intelligent design? I mean, if you haven't thought this through, you could. It's okay to just.
I mean, I'm kind of just coming up with this now,
on the
but
spot.
I guess my imagination is maybe one of the most dangerous tools, weapons.
That's what they say
on the planet.
That's
so
what
when I
they say.
think of giants, the immediate thing I think of a threat. So when you say God, what is? Let me ask you this: what's the most threatening thing to God?
Giants.
The devil.
Sorry. Yours question.
The most threatening thing to God is like a really funny meme that makes fun of him and gets people thinking about like
That he might not exist.
or that he's a fool.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I've just typed in anti-religion meme, and this is what was
Oh
scary.
my
So
god!
here's
I
that.
can't even.
Do you want to see one with like a? All right, let me.
I
ask,
like this stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm not afraid.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to see?
I
A
would
meme?
like to see this.
These are some. Do you want to see one with the madman Don Draper sipping his drink and laughing, or
my
one with that one of those ones with the baby making like a funny face? Which one? The baby?
I would love to see both.
All right. Yeah, I guess we have time.
Let's
on this
start with the
podcast.
baby, I guess.
All right. So this one. This is under cringy atheist memes, so this may not have been a great choice.
Put that away. That's not going to do anything.
Okay.
That doesn't
I'm
scare
protecting
me.
myself because I'm Tradcath.
That
now,
feels
so.
good.
All right. Here comes the meme, and I'm going to read the meme.
Keep doing that. I'm going to start flying around into the sky.
This one says, so the Bible is true because the Bible says the Bible is true? How do you say that? And then there's an expletive with a straight face. And the baby's making it funny. So this kind of pokes fun at religion. And yeah, it's not as funny
Well,
if you.
this child needs
see
to
the
grow
child.
up and see the path.
All right.
That's what I would say. But
Okay, here's a really good one. I'm just copying the link address for those.
Oh great!
listening.
We're gonna listen to an alcoholic in this meme.
All right,
okay,
here we
great.
go.
Yeah, this guy's
Don-
really
it's-
drunk, so he's probably. Yeah, go ahead.
It's Don Draper. It's a character. He goes, "Oh, you're tired of my anti-religion posts? Why don't you pray for me to stop?" Nick, good luck coming back from that.
I think that just killed God. That
Yes.
put the bullet in his head.
What is
dead.
he? Is he drinking the sacramental wine there? What is he?
No, he's doing what I do, which is having 4 or 5 nice, neat double whiskeys, and then he's going to go drive home.
Just get in the car and go. Don't
And that's
even
the
look
thing.
back. Just go as fast as you fucking can.
And that's what I do. And all of a sudden, I'm a criminal. Meanwhile,
having
giants can go around stomping out farms, stepping on cows, ruining cities. No one arrests them.
See, okay,
I
but-
drink and drive. I'm a criminal. Giants aren't getting arrested.
See, when you hit me with your car when you were drunk.
No, when you were hit by my car while I was drunk.
Okay, but that was. I'll admit something here,
Yeah.
and my lawyer really doesn't want me to admit this, but that was kind of exciting for me when that happened.
Oh.
It was sexual for me because it did. The force of the car was sort of like a giant stepping on me, and so I don't know. Don't
No.
you see how like you wielded the power of a giant when
Do cars have vaginas? Could you have sex with a car?
there are holes in there that and I've
And why
tried.
did they put those there if they didn't want us to experiment?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Why do giants exist if we're not supposed to be scared of them? Do you know what I mean? Like this stuff, it's like, come on. And I'll be honest. One of my other issues with giants is that I feel like this whole fee fi fo fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman, you know what I mean? All this stuff. It's not
great
enough
song.
for them to be scary from being so big. They also have to go around trying to intimidate us.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
No,
cool?
no,
You'd
no.
be they're
Don't be a
basically-
bully.
Giants are the
fake
bullies
news. Fake
of,
news.
of humans.
That word is extremely triggering to me. That phrase.
News. I just think, yeah.
Sorry. Or should I say small news? Because you're such a small-minded person, you can't see that, what you're doing is harmful to giants. You're spreading these mistruths about them. Giants aren't trying to intimidate people. They're trying to live in a world, and society, small human society, keeps building these cities where giants want to walk through.
There must be a reason why we haven't welcomed them into our world yet.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's not. You're coming.
It's not our job to welcome them. They should have the right to
stomp wherever they want.
Stomp wherever.
You're acting like this is some kind of bias or something when it's literally dangerous to be around giants. This is not me being a racist against the race of giants. This is just being safe. They're not safe in our cities. They're too big.
It's like when you go to certain neighborhoods, you're allowed to be racist because you're scared.
Right. You're scared of the different races there. That's bad, and that is bad. But this is good. Being
Racism
scared of
is
giants.
bad.
Yes, but being scared of the race, except when it comes to the race of giants. So all our listeners who are racists, and you're like, I want to be racist, but I don't want to do it in the wrong way. Just be racist against giants.
And have fun with it.
Because there's nothing you could do to them. I mean, they are huge. These guys are huge, but we've talked about this enough. We've really gotten a lot of opinions for the first opening debate segment. And I think, if you don't mind, Nick, I know you had told me we can't do this segment anymore, but I got something I really want to do for my rant of the week. And I know you told me. I kind of went off book. We had to delete the episode. I went off, I guess off
mic.
Yeah, I was off mic because
because it was on the mic.
Yes, I should. It was on the mic, but I said some off stuff that we couldn't post the episode. But I really think I understand what you could say, you can and can't say now. So if you just let me do the rant of the week.
We've already talked about this. It's not,
I promise this one is not going to be anything that gets us demonetized.
Okay, but
okay, so just let me do the rant of the week.
I don't know if we have time for this, and especially
I promise I won't go too. I might go 10.
Don't take
20
your
minutes.
clothes off again. That was
I'll keep them on. Let me just do my rant because I really got to get this.
I really
don't
know if we have time.
It's not going to mess up the podcast. Just let me do my rant of the week, and then we'll
How long is the rant?
I mean, 1 hour max. 58 minutes min. So it's between 58 minutes and 1 hour, but no.
And it's going to go viral. This is going to be good for our.
This is going to get us some actual listens because
Subway takes.
It's something that people. Yes, Subway takes.
Okay.
So let me do my rant of the week. Again, it's only 1 extra hour on the podcast. Where the feedback I'm getting is it's too short. The podcast is too short. Yeah. So let me just do my rant. It'll add some runtime. And
I'm glad you're listening.
All right,
to
but try to keep it a little tight.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Now, I know a lot of people think Hitler was a bad guy.
Oh, we got our producer is signaling us. We're doing a producer. We're going to do a check-in with our producer. This is a real guy, our producer. He's not, I don't know what some of the theories about what our producer is are completely unfounded. Let's check in with him, see what he has to say.
We're halfway through the episode, and the conversation is somehow both completely off the rails and exactly what we hoped for. Alex is holding things down with the facts, while Tony and Nick are deep in a Godzilla versus King Kong spiral that started as a joke but now feels like a real philosophical debate. There's tension, there's yelling, and weirdly, there's heart. The theme of giants has turned into a lens for pop culture, fear, power, and even childhood memories. It's chaotic in the best way. This is exactly the kind of energy that makes the show work.
Well, that was great.
I guess the podcast was going really well, and maybe the rant wouldn't have added that much to it, so fine. Well, good news. It's time for the best part of the podcast.
Here we go.
A little thing we call the Guys Corner.
Oh, yeah.
Guys Corner.
Yes.
And,
All right. Well, we have leftover beers from the last episode.
Last guy's corner, so we ran
You
out.
might not want to drink that, but you could hold it.
Yeah,
in your
I'll
hand.
keep it in my hand. Yeah.
Sorry, just the feeling of being a guy. And this
You
is
know, and,
something-
honestly, it's like even just holding a beer, that's like half the job, right?
I'm getting drunk through touch.
And you know what?
basically.
Honestly, the way things are going, you won't even be able to hold a beer anymore with the kind of rules
Yeah.
they're putting on us. First, they say you can't drink and drive. It's the slippery slope.
Yeah.
They tell me I can't drink. First, they tell me I can't drink and drive. I do that. Then they tell me I can't drive. Oh, I stop. They take my license. Now next they're probably going to tell me I can't hold a beer. And
Yeah.
this is you
Well,
know this
I
is
mean,
part of what I've been complaining about.
I you know how I feel about this. I mean, I'm just,
Yes, you were hit by my car while he
you were
was
driving
putting
the
himself
car.
in his driveway. It's not called the standway. Don't stand
Drive,
in the
go as
drive.
fast as you fucking want.
I'm driving.
Yeah.
Well,
in
you were
the-
driving.
you had
You were
been
driving
drunk.
on my neighbor's lawn, and then you hit me on.
Yes, because I was trying to get to the driveway. I realized I wasn't supposed to be on the lawn. I'm going
Yeah.
to go on the driveway and drive. And you're out there. He's doing these. What do they call?
Devil sticks.
Devil
I was
sticks.
I was practicing my
right.
devil sticks.
Which is like, anyways. But I guess this just gets back to my issue, which is that you can't be a guy anymore.
Yeah.
All the stuff us guys used to like doing, having a drink, driving around on a lawn.
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
Going to an elementary school, just running around.
Running
While
around.
the kids are there.
the kids
they're
are
mad
there.
at you now.
I went to this
can't be
school,
a kid
okay?
anymore.
I
Can't do
went to this school. I graduated. I worked my behind off to graduate from this elementary school. Now you don't let me run around during recess pushing
Yeah.
over kids. I'm not pushing them that hard.
They
You
like
know,
it.
Yes. They're like Nick. They're little freaks that want to get pushed over.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it anymore, and that's because of the war on guys. Alex, Nick, anything you want to deal with? You've been dealing with because of the war on guys.
Yeah. You know when you have like a lawyer because you're like trying to sue your podcast co-host and then you're like, oh, this is gonna go great, and then he starts hooking up with your podcast co-host lawyer. And then it's like this whole conflict of interest. I don't know. This is
It's like The Firm. This is like the exact plot of the film.
Yeah, I don't know if this is really relatable. I think we should sort of bring.
well, it's I
all
feel
guys
like
feel
it sucks being a guy.
Well, it sucks for you because you're gonna lose in court. But for me,
Well,
sort
both
the-
of us are not going to do that well with this court case because they're hooking up, and now your lawyer has caught some feelings. I don't know if you heard, but
no, I try not to. When I get a call from my lawyer, I'm like, it's gaming time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll answer this later, and then just let the
yeah,
voicemails pile up because
You
again,
want
as
to
a
talk? Find me in the chat room.
yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
It's not really as a guy. That's a sacred time because for me,
Yeah.
9 a.m. to 5 p.m. that's gaming time. 5 p.m. to midnight that's bar time. Midnight to 8 a.m.
Can't
that's
even
driving
remember
time.
having so much
Yeah.
fun. Well, yeah, and driving. Too,
Driving time.
you know?
But what about you, Alex? Anything you're dealing with just with this war on guys? Sort of any problems you've been having as being a guy these days?
tales from the trenches.
Tales from the
Yeah,
men,
war on guys.
tales from the brain of a man.
Yeah, in the mind of a man.
The mind
That's
of a
That's what
man,
we're trying
yeah.
to do with this podcast. No one really knows what men think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what we're trying to sort
Yeah.
of get for the first time. Let podcast listeners know what men are thinking.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, they're like fashion, hot dogs. Go
Think
ahead.
about hot dogs.
We were speaking about elementary schools earlier, and I'm actually in the process right now of trying to partner with AMC theaters to get the first AMC built inside of an elementary school.
Whoa.
And I'm getting hounded with red tape. It's impossible to get anything done. None of these teachers want to work at the movie theater. None of the kids want to do their homework, and it's just absolutely insane, dude. So I think it's because I'm a guy.
It's
and
definitely, yeah.
It's because it's a war against guys, and it's a war against creativity. It's literally this country's falling apart. So
It's a war against creativity.
all you can do is fucking drink and that's it. That's all that you can do.
There's nothing you can do. I
America
use
right now.
AI to design some of the most fascinating nudes, and I post them on Instagram, and it gets deleted because immediately, and it's the war on creativity. You know how hard it was for me to type in to the AI prompt thing, draw a sexy nude.
I saw that your
I would've
finger
thought
was
of that.
kind of cramping.
Yeah, because I'm typing it over and over and over, posting it on my Instagram, and getting
Yeah.
deleted, and it's the war on
Right.
creativity. But speaking of creativity,
You both are both invited to the premiere also. At
Oh, cool.
at the
Frederick Douglass
Elementary.
Elementary School / AMC.
AMC.
Frederick Douglass 8. 'cause
I hope
the
there's
8
some good
screens.
movies showing up, but I mean, I just like going to the movies. I don't care what's playing at the premiere.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, speaking of movies, we got something that's even better than movies to
It's
look
going to be
at.
the first ever James Franco only movie theater, too.
Whoa.
Sorry to
That's
cut you off.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You know what happened is I thought the elevator outside opened. I thought it was someone Nick knew. I don't know why. And that's why I said, whoa, this is a little, we'll edit this out.
I thought it
But,
was Sebastian Maniscalco
yeah, I thought it was
coming
going to
down
be a
here.
celebrity or a
What
giant.
are you guys doing in this big room? You
Yeah.
know?
He lives down here.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
it's,
does,
it's
yeah.
weird. He could afford his own home, but he sleeps in a little co-work office in the closet. But
They call it a WeWork, and I'm going, I sleep.
yeah,
They call it a WeWork. I call it an I sleep. That,
Right.
You know, I'm doing one of his comedy.
iPad.
On my...
I got one. iPhone, iPad. What's next? I got to get out of here. Something like that. I just thought of that. And
You should email him that as a comedy sketch.
Yeah,
that would be great.
I have a new sketch for you, Sebastian. But anyways, you're talking about movies. We have
Talking about
something
movies.
that's
The original
better,
movie.
The original movie.
Oh, wow.
You-
Okay, you're speaking my
Yeah.
language.
Before
Yeah.
movies, there were YouTube Shorts. So we're going to look at some of those,
okay.
and you know, as you probably know, video reaction is a big field now. The video reaction
We're
content.
really
you fill
trying
hours
to
with
go
it.
like viral
Yes,
with
and
this
the thing about
podcast.
video reaction is, you know, it's hard to think of something funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
easy to find something funny that someone else did, put your face on top of it, and nod. So that's what we're trying to do with these video reactions.
Sure.
And here's the only other things. These are not YouTube longs, as we call them. These are YouTube. You know what I mean? You're not going to have.
And thank God for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're not going to have 20 minutes to think of a quip.
Yeah.
So what we like to do is have our quips ready.
Okay.
So because as soon as the short kicks in, we say our funny thing, and that means we won't get a copy strike because we've transformed the content.
And also,
through
people
criticism.
see that we're like funny people
Right.
reacting, and it you know, a viral ability sort of just
And everybody loves YouTube.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
Can't get mad at YouTube.
can't get mad at YouTube.
'Cause
Okay.
the thing with YouTube, though, real quick, you're not the people who are uploading videos. They're not filmmakers.
No.
They're just buddies, friends.
They're just
Yeah.
friends and
With a
pals.
video camera.
And that's why
Unbelievable.
you're not getting so much pro giant stuff like you are in the movies, where these corporations are trying to convince you that giants are good.
Yeah.
YouTube, the people are making it. And speaking of the people, we're going to watch videos, but we like to have our reactions ready before we start.
Okay.
This week I'm going to say, that's going to be a no from me whatever happens.
Okay.
So do you have anything you want us ready to say? If you can't think of anything.
I'll make like a noise. I
Okay,
guess.
good idea. Yeah, because that could work for anything. And Nick, you know what you're gonna do?
So much win.
Oh, that's great. Very good. All
I'll
right.
do that, yeah.
Alex, we got to pull around a little bit because
Yeah.
look at the. So I'm gonna say that's gonna be a no from me. And let me move this. You know what? I always knock over these
Yeah, I always can.
beers. Yeah. So let me move it over. So this first one is called. I don't know what it's called. But get ready to react.
Maybe this is one I.
This is called. They're all yours. Okay.
How Giants fan dress for games before time. See, so I found this. I was trying to find videos of Giants, and apparently there's a lot of fans of Giants out there.
Yeah, that's like you. I hate them. I'm the opposite of a Giants fan.
But
Yeah.
apparently, I don't know.
Did you make this video, Nick? Is this
I-
door gonna
I
open? I'm gonna
wish
see
I
a
did.
video of
Yeah,
your
I told
face?
you we have to react to other videos. We can't just react to our own videos. Then there's no point. We know our videos aren't going to get views. That's why we have other people's videos.
Right.
But if you show up in this video,
Hashtag Italian.
hashtag Italian.
There you
know
go,
about
right
this.
there.
Yeah, here we go.
Before Tommy DeVito.
All right, hashtag Italian.
So
And this is
I don't know who Tommy DeVito
this is
is.
going to be a great video for people that are searching the hashtag Italian. I'm
That's
glad they
true,
put
yeah.
that on
Yeah,
there. So here
finally.
we go.
Okay.
And I'm not Italian.
So
I won't get
this
it,
should
but-
be a fan of Giants.
All right, here we go. And if
So
you're just
much
listening, there's a
win.
guy with a shirt that
Oh,
says
I got to get that
Giants.
shirt. Mm-hmm. Giants.
It says
Look,
Giants.
he's cold.
And there's some like
How they dress now that Tommy DeVito's the Quibi or what? I don't
he's
know.
dressing like an Italian. Nick, you're Italian. Is that how Italians
I mean,
dress?
thinking about Giants as an Italian does make me want to dress sharp in case I'm going to be smashed that day.
He's a Tommy DeVito is a member of Mumford and Sons. I think.
Yeah,
is what
that's
this
Tommy
is.
Italian
DeVito
dress.
or oh yeah.
Oh wait, I forgot what I was gonna. I'm gonna say that's gonna be a no from me.
So much win.
Wow, it was,
All right, great. All right, well, pretty good
that
video.
was my noise.
Now, this next one is called. All right.
Okay,
The
so
NY
apparently there are like a faction of giants that reside in New York,
Right.
And
New
this
York
is like a
Giants.
comedy sketch of like, what if the TV show The Office was about New York Giants? Are people obsessed with giants that reside in New York? And so, and I'm a fan of The Office. I love it. So
Who isn't?
And also,
Yeah.
if you're just listening, the guy's wearing a T-shirt of Rick and Morty.
yeah,
So you're going to be laughing.
And
I would watch it.
and you can't make a baby in the butt.
We talked about that.
We talked about it on
week.
the last episode.
What is that?
You can't. I'll tell you after, but I was just learning a little more about how babies are made, and I'll explain it to you because I was kind of shocked. But there's this other whole, and we'll get into it after the
butts
podcast.
are for duty.
Yeah,
we found
we'll
out.
get into this
Baby.
afterwards. So here we go.
And
The
this guy
NY
is-
Giants office,
Black, so that's exciting.
and here it comes.
I still can't believe y'all did that. How are we supposed to know?
So much win.
Is this a parody of the show The Office?
Yeah, I think so.
Why are they? They're
It's
playing.
kind of if like two Stanleys met.
Yeah, but I don't know. Where they're playing cards. So they.
Well, good. Well, because giants don't exist anymore, so they don't really have much to do in the office.
They're bored.
They're playing cards. This is
Yeah.
a long. They say they're shorts, but I feel like it's been going on for.
Oh, and the third guy now.
Okay, so we
The same guy is playing all the parts.
Yeah.
No, but he's wearing a different hat in each one. So I
Yeah,
think
so
it's
you can know
a,
it's a different guy.
Well, this
Yeah.
is also a part of giant lore. I think is that usually twins and triplets are most
heard it.
obsessed with giants.
Well, I also heard
Yeah.
about genetically. There's something about the DNA when giants split off from normal-sized humans that
Right.
there's a propensity for triplets. Well, that was a great video.
And
Oh,
you can't see it in that video, but there is a goose laying golden eggs just right off,
right off, yeah.
screen.
did I say
Yeah.
my thing? That's going to be a no from me.
I
I
think
forgot to say
I
it.
Said
think
it.
you did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it in there.
All right, and finally one more video to react to. This one's called.
We don't know.
I don't know. Would you rather be a tiny person? Oh, I found this one. This
Okay.
is called Would you rather be a tiny person or a giant person?
Giant.
Well, let's
Oh well, I'd rather be a tiny person being crushed by a.
I'd like to be a
person.
giant so I can finally experience some privilege after dealing with life as a guy for all these years.
I want to be a tiny person so I could ride a bug.
Yeah. All right, well, let's. All right, and there's a pop song of some kind playing. Be a tiny. Would you rather be? And there's a picture of a tiny person
Hopefully, he
on
gets
a,
crushed.
on a gummy bear. And then here's a giant. I think this is, unfortunately, it might be AI art. I don't know if this is a real image of a giant.
Ugh, I can't look at that.
Yeah.
So much win.
And that's it. That's going to be a no for me to the question of being a tiny person.
So much win.
Wow.
Well, you know what? That video was short, but it brought up a lot of good points.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're going to really solve this today. So we've done video reaction. We've done Guy's Corner. Well, you know what it's time for? Closing
Pizza.
pizza.
Closing pizza.
Closing. I wish unfortunately we haven't sort of gotten into the double digits as far as income on this podcast, so we can't really afford.
We've made
pizza.
We've
yeah.
made $80 each.
$80
so far.
each. Well, that's with video.
It's not bad.
That's video ad only. Not for this. And then we made $4 with audio ads, so it's 82.
And I've been talking with my landlord, and he's
taking
thinking
over.
of bringing down the price of my rent.
He's
to
thinking of
to like
indexing-
$30.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
See if
yeah.
you get him to index the rent to podcast earnings.
Yeah.
It's kind of a term.
I think that's Zoran is running on that.
yes, Zoran.
Yeah.
Podcasters will become
Podcasters
the new
will be-
landlords.
No, podcasters should not have to pay rent because
No.
we are providing the service of laughter and insights, and this is like the equivalent of a church asking the priest to
And
pay rent.
we're in a content desert.
We're in a
you know?
content desert. There's
like,
not enough
where is
podcasts.
the
No.
content? You know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess my sort of takeaway from all this is like, let's stop, subsidizing giants. Let's stop, getting a big truck full of cows and driving them to the base of the giant's tree so they'll eat the cows and
Yeah.
not step on the people. It's time to take the power back for us regular sized people and also for the really little people that are the size of ants. Let's
Speak on it.
do more for them. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
When we say the little people, I mean the literal. They're these size of ants. It wouldn't cost that much to break off a little piece of bread. Just drop it on the ground for them. Meanwhile, $10 billion a week in tax money is going to feed giants because we're scared of them. I think we shoot them with a nuke.
Yeah, I agree.
Alex, what do you think? So you think giants cool or not cool at the end of the day?
Not cool.
Not cool.
Sorry, dude. Sorry. They're not cool.
Well, good luck shooting a nuke at them because that'll be like a little jalapeno pepper. Actually, worse than a jalapeno pepper. Just a little red pepper. They're gonna chew it and put it in their salad.
It's a start.
I just want to say
it's a start.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Giants are cool.
All right.
That's all it took?
That's all it took. Yeah,
That's all
it's
it
a really
took.
good
Wow.
argument. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.